Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be working on the textured wave stitch. You won't believe how simple and easy it is to make this beautiful stitch. Don't go away. To work the textured wave stitch, let me let you know what you're going to need. A darning needle, embroidery scissors, any size 4 yarn that you would prefer, and of course, your crochet hook. And in this case, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter. The textured wave stitch is worked in multiples of 10 plus 6. And for the purposes of this particular tutorial, I'm going to be working a total of 30 chains. And then I'll add 6 at the end. So we'll start with a simple slip knot. There we go. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and chain 30. 1, 2, Now that I've done my chain of 30, I'm going to add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wonderful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work into that second chain that's right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a simple slip stitch. So we'll insert our hook, pull up a loop, and go ahead and follow all the way through for that slip stitch. Now we're going to add 4 more. Now what we're going to do is for the next 5 stitches, we're going to place a half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then we'll do our 4th one, and then our 5th one. Perfect. Then what we're going to do is go back to our slip stitches, and we're going to do 5 of those. So we'll insert our hook, pull it through. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, and then there's 5. And what I'm going to have you do is just keep repeating all the way down until you've finished. When you finished up with that first row, this is what your work will look like. You've done a repeated row of slip stitches, half double crochets, slip stitch, and so on and so forth, 5 of each. So here we are at the end, and we've just completed our 5 slip stitches, and we'll continue. Now, I know if you've crocheted for any length of time, your next impulse will be to chain 1, but we're not going to. We're going to turn our work like so. And what we're going to do is go into that first stitch. This is our back loop. We're going to work back loop only, moving forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to work right back there into that stitch, and we're going to place slip stitches. Okay, so that's 1, and that's 2. Sometimes it's a little rough getting started, but it'll all work out. I'm going to go keep working into that back loop, and that's 3, and that's 4 right here, and then into the next one, which is our last slip stitch right now. There's our 5th slip stitch right into that back loop. Perfect. Next, we're going to place 5 half double crochets. So we're going to yarn over and work into that back loop. We'll pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through, remember? We'll keep going into that back loop. There's our second. Into that back loop for our third. Into that back loop for our fourth. And here's our final one. Okay? So much like the first row, we're just going to keep repeating. Now that we've done our 5 slip stitches and our 5 half double crochets, we're going to do 5 more slip stitches, then 5 more half double crochets, then 5 more and 5 more. You got it. Be right back. So I want to show you how this last little stitch is going to work out, because sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to kind of find where it is. You'll see this part here. See how it's raised a bit? You should be able to go right there in between, right here, with your final slip stitch. See that? Go right on in there and slip stitch, and there you go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work on row 3. To begin row 3, we're simply going to chain 2 and turn our work. Do note that this chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet, and from here you're going to yarn over and work into the back loop of the next stitch your half double crochet. Into the next stitch you'll work another half double crochet. Okay, so that's 3, and you're going to work 2 more to make 5, so that's 4, and then there's your 5. And then I'm sure you can guess what comes next. You got it. We're going to need to do 5 slip stitches into the next 5 stitches. So let's go ahead and do that into the back loop. So there's 1. Here's our second slip stitch here. Then we have here our third slip stitch. And here's our fourth. And our 5th is right here. Perfect. Then we're going to go into the back loop for 5 half double crochets. So I want you to continue working all the way down, 5 half double crochets, and then 5 slip stitches, 5 half double crochets, and then 5 slip stitches all the way until the end, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so now we're done with row 3, and we've worked back and forth our 5 half double crochets and our 5 slip stitches, and so on and so forth until the end. So now we're going to move on and work on row number 4. And to do so, we're simply going to repeat kind of the same thing we did in row 3. We're going to chain 2, turn our work. We're going to remember that this chain 2 is our first half double crochet, and we're just going to keep moving forward into that next stitch with our second half double crochet, then our third, then we're going to work our fourth, and that's our 5th. At the end of row 4, this is what your work is going to look like. Okay, everything's neatly stacking together and you're seeing the definite pattern, which is what we want to see. And hopefully by now you're getting used to what comes next. It's actually pretty easy once you remember and get the hang of it. So now that we're at the end of row 4, we're going to not do any chains, but simply turn our work. And just like before, what we're going to do is we're going to work our slip stitches. And you're going to add your slip stitch like so. There's our second, there's our third, fourth, and our fifth. Whoops. There we go. And then what we're going to do is continue as we did before. This is going to be 5 half double crochets, 5 of the slip stitch, 5 half double crochets, 5 of the slip stitch, and so on and so forth. So do that. Meet me at the end. The textured wave stitch is a charming and just beautiful stitch. And I hope that you've learned how to make it and you feel confident enough to use it in projects that you would like to. I think it's excellent for pillows or purses or anything where you need that textured effect on the outside of your work, because on this side you just kind of have just your back that's there. There's nothing distinct about it, but that front is that's just gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope to see you on my next video. Until next time, from my heart to your hooks, happy crocheting, friends.